Hard Rockology Show, Chris, Matt, and Jason back in with you. New music by a band out of Manchester, England. They're called Hell to Pay. The song Prisoners of War. And on their phone, Dario and Tom of the band Hell to Pay. Guys, welcome to the Hard Rockology Show.
Hey, man, how you doing? Hello.
All right, guys. I want to say thanks for coming on the Hard Rockology Show. And we had a chance to listen to the tracks that you guys sent over. So congratulations on your long play. Judgment Day. So what was the process like getting you guys from your first two EPs to finally getting a long play, Judgment Day?
It was just a process that we felt we had to make at some point. I mean, we've done obviously the two EPs, and it's just a step you've got to make as a band, so we just all sat down and decided, you know, how we'd like to work towards that, and took it from there, really.
So you guys had two EPs going into the LP recording. Did that help you guys out a lot in the recording of this, or you guys kind of knew what you wanted to do and you had all the songs ready to go?
Just about. I mean, song-wise, we were all pretty much there, weren't we, mate?
Yeah, it was all basically, the pre-production on it was all done quite a bit in advance. So when we went in the studio, it was pretty much kind of set up as in structure-wise how they were going to be.
Yeah, and obviously having all that, like, a little bit of recording experience before we actually went in really did help prepare us for, you know, the onslaught that was that week in the studio, man. It was intense, but because we'd been in before, we were quite comfortable with what we were doing, I think.
All right, well, you guys originally, your first EP, So Far, So Good. Basically, I guess you guys pretty much did that yourself, and I noticed between the first EP and the second EP that there's definitely a change in your sound and what direction you guys were going in. So was that something that you guys were basically just trying to set in motion? Because I know even on your second EP, you guys did it in, 4 or 5 days? So what was the process like from you guys to go from your first EP, your second EP, and eventually I'm assuming you guys probably had a little bit more time for your long play?
Yeah, I think we've just grown up more than anything. The first EP was just a bunch of songs that were the first bunch of songs that we ever wrote, and obviously went and recorded them originally as a demo and into the EP. And I presume we've just developed as musicians and everything else along the way. I mean, I think we've got a bit mature with the songs and the structures and the ideas that go on. And hopefully we've got a little bit better playing-wise as well, and hopefully that'll show on the tracks, I think.
So how did you guys all come together? Did you guys know each other from school or all from living in Manchester? You all good friends growing up?
No, man, because we're from all over the UK, and we've all kind of just come together in Manchester. Me and Dan, the singer and the other guitar player, met at university. We actually stole Tom from another band that was opening up for us one night. And Stu's just a guy who's been around, who we've known for a long time as a musician, and then when the bass player spot came up, he seemed like the perfect guy to take it.
Yeah, it all worked pretty well. We kind of gelled quite quick, actually. I think we had a gig pretty close to when I first joined.
Yeah, literally, Tom had a week like to get used to the songs and the set list before we gigged with Tom and stuff. So yeah, it's all come together really nice. I think we all get on really well.
Well, you guys pretty much have only been together since about 2009, and you guys about 2010, 2011 won the Battle of the Bands, and then you guys were pretty much thrust onto the touring circuit. You guys had an opportunity to tour with some pretty good bands. Paul Gilbert, actually one of them. So what was that like for you guys to basically form your band and relatively quickly get the recognition from the fans out there, then get voted to Battle of the Bands and move on and start touring with some name bands at the time? So what was that experience like for you guys?
The Battle of the Bands experience was insane, really, because it just came out of nowhere. Like you said, we haven't been around for very long. We just recorded a couple of tracks for that EP, So Far So Good, and just entered the competition on a whim. I think Dan's dad was the one who told us about it. And within a couple of weeks, we'd done the initial competition and then went to play live for that Battle of the Bands competition. And before we knew it, we were playing in a big venue in front of loads of people without really knowing where it had come from. So that was great. Paul Gilbert thing, though, I mean, just because he's a personal hero of mine and Dan's, it was just really surreal. We just knew the promoter having to get in touch with him and just said, "Oh, do you need a band to open for Paul Gilbert?" And he said yes. So that was just a great night, absolutely great night for us.
Well, not only that, but too, you also had a chance to play with the band The Treatment, which is also a very young band, like you guys as well. And they had an opportunity actually to get onto a tour here in the United States, playing for Kiss and such. So, did you guys have a chance to hang out with those guys a little bit and see exactly what got them where they are so quickly? I mean, are you guys on a fast track? Because, I mean, we've heard the album.
We're trying to get some tips.
Yeah, no, I think they just know a lot more people than we do. There They're a great band, though, man. We got on really well with them when we were lucky enough to play with them. And as you said, since they've opened for, I think they've been on every tour we wish we'd been on, really.
Yeah, basically, yeah. No, really good, really great band.
Yeah, so we're just trying to play catch up to those guys more than anything.
Well, the only reason why I'm saying on the fast track, having listened to the music that you guys have put out already, and you guys have definitely shown or evolved from your first EP into what you guys are releasing right now, and the sound's definitely there. You guys are definitely maturing and basically putting together some well-crafted songs, and that's why I'm saying you guys are on the fast track, because you guys have a sound that I think resonates well with what's going on right now in the music scene.
Well, thank you very much. We're just writing songs that we enjoy playing more than anything. I mean, we have tried to, add new concepts in and develop our sound, but I mean, if there's a fast track out there, man, I hope we're on it, but I don't know. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's so that the album kind of puts that across, really.
It's great that you guys are picking up on it, because, I mean, it means a lot to us, man. People are recognising that.
Well, I think we're picking up on it a lot because there's a lot of influences, especially with Van Halen. I noticed on a couple of songs, obviously Thin Lizzy, Iron Maiden. Are those like some of the band's major influences?
Yeah, it's pretty much those bands. Yeah, that's pretty much it. No, definitely. I mean, we're just trying to take all the bits that we like. I mean, pretty much like every band, I suppose. You just try and take all the bits you like out of the artists you love listening to and put your own spin on it. And if things like Van Halen and Iron Maiden are coming out of that and people are saying that, then that's amazing, man. That's absolutely awesome.
Well, not only that, we open up the show, we open up the interview playing Prisoners of War, and for me, that song kind of sounds a little bit old school Metallica, at least the Metallica I remember listening to, and I know Metallica's also an influence for you guys too. Was there a little bit of a Metallica influence on that particular track?
No, Dan wrote the main riff, and he's a big Megadeth fan. I think he'd probably tell me off if I didn't admit to him being a big Megadeth fan there. So possibly more Mustaine than Hetfield, I think. But any early Metallica Megadeth's all good.
It's just especially when we open with that song live as well. It's kind of a real kick to the face, really, when you come on. So
it's doing that job, man. Yeah, brilliant.
Well, I mean, you mentioned Dave Mustaine, and when I hear that song, I'm thinking Kill 'Em All, which is the Metallica album I was referring to. And so I guess just saying that, I guess, definitely comes across that way. It's like, going back and listening to that first Metallica album and production on there, and then having a chance to listen to Prisoners of War and the production on that, it's like leaps and bounds ahead of where those guys were, so.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, we weren't trying to, thank you very much. We weren't trying to replicate anything production-wise. Just go out and try and make it sound good, and if it sounded like a first Metallica album, then happy days.
So, guys, take us behind the scenes of how you guys construct a song. Who comes up with the ideas? Is it pretty much you, Dario, or is it you, Tom? I mean, how do you guys work together as a band to write some great songs?
So, mainly Dario and Dan kind of come up with the main.
Yeah, I mean, Dan's at the epicenter of all the creative ideas, all the initial melodies and riffs and things like that. A lot of them are Dan's. I mean, he'll try and put together a couple of ideas, or the structure of a song or something, and then we'll just sit down and work through it as a band and just try and sort the arrangement, structured parts and things like that, additional instrumentation if we ever get that far. Then take it in a rehearsal room and probably throw it all out the window and start again. Yeah, more than anything, that's the way most bands probably work.
Well, I have to ask this, Tom, because I saw an interview that you did with Dan earlier in the year. I have to ask you, has Dan shaved off that mustache?
Do you know what? It's a real shame, but he did. He got rid. We all wanted him to keep it, but
I don't know. Have you guys heard of Movember?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Have you guys heard of it? It's like a charity thing that we've got over here called Movember, and people guys grow mustaches over here for a month to raise awareness for cancer. It's a bit like a thing. That's why the slug-like mustache is there.
I guess that explains everything now, right?
What did you think? Do you think you should keep it?
No.
I like your honesty.
I mean, I was looking at that, and I was like, what the hell is that, man? It's like a nice thick mustache. I felt like I was like he's like English gentleman or something, The only thing I was missing was the
hat.
No, the handlebars on the side.
Yeah, you needed the handlebars on the side.
Yeah, he would have been all right. Yeah. So I thought he should have been pouring me a Guinness or something.
think he was just drawing on some sort of Tom Selleck kind of inspiration there. I think he was just, he's one of our many idols, really.
What, Tom Selleck?
Only the mustache growing with Tom.
Yeah.
Oh God, unbelievable.
Sorry.
So, what's the band's opinion of the current state of the hard rock and heavy metal scene over there in the UK right now?
There's quite a lot going on. Really, I mean, there's a lot of great bands, obviously, especially from the Manchester area, that all seem to be doing really well at the minute. It just hasn't really broke through, which is probably what makes it quite cool, I suppose. That there's a lot of bands doing a lot of gigs. I mean, obviously we play quite a lot around here, and you bump into them from time to time, and they all seem to have really good things going on. So hopefully, in the next year or two, it'll all kind of start breaking through, I think.
Well, you guys are also on. You got on the bill for the Hard Rock Hell with some pretty big bands that's coming up next year, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Can't wait to see Graham.
Yeah, Graham. What
be good fun.
Yeah, Graham Bonnet came out of retirement, right? Where the heck has that guy been?
Sorry, mate. Say that again.
I said Graham Bonnet seems like he's come out of retirement now. He's back on the scene, and you also have Taiketo on the bill, Love Hate, just to name a few, and you guys are on the bill too. So it's got to be a big honor for you guys, right?
No, massive. Oh, yeah. Look at the history of some of those bands. I mean, especially Graham Bonnet, man. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's what we've been working towards for months, years. So just to actually finally get on one of these bills, man, it's just a massive, massive plus for us. Kind of just indicates everything we've got going on at the minute in terms of the album, and seems like people are starting to say no a little bit, which is cool. Really cool.
Well, between now and the show coming up next March, I believe it is, do you guys have plans to tour the UK or maybe get into mainland Europe and do some touring there? Or what's your plans for the next year, especially with the new release of Judgment Day?
We're discussing the tour at the minute for the end of the year, but obviously because no one's confirmed, I can't really say anything. So, but hopefully we'll be doing a full UK tour by the end of the year. A couple of cool shows in between as well, just like little one-off shows with some really great bands. Sadly, I can't tell you anything because none of it's actually confirmed. And then hopefully we're going to be making our first little trip to Europe next year as well. There's a couple of things in the pipeline for that. So, like I said, it all seems to be finally heading in the right direction, which is really nice.
So, Dario, what are some of your guitar player influences? I mean, who's some of your favorite guitar players?
I'm a big Maiden fan. I mean, Adrian Smith.
Excuse me?
Sorry, mate, say that again.
I said make this list pretty good.
Like I said, I'm a big Iron Maiden fan. So Adrian Smith for me was the first guitar player I really got into. And then from there you start checking out people like Van Halen, Bettencourt, and obviously Paul Gilbert and Satch and John Petrucci to an extent. I don't know, man. I could go on. I mean, even from Richie Blackmore. I mean, there's a lot. Do you want me to keep going?
No, I think that's good. I think we got the idea. I do like the fact that you mentioned Richie. I do like the fact that you mentioned Richie Blackmore. That guy needs to come out of retirement and get back into the hard rock heavy metal scene, I think.
It would be nice to see. But yeah, we've done a cover of Stormbringer as well from the old Deep Purple album. It's like a little bonus for this album. So yeah, massive influence, Richie and Deep Purple in general.
So you're doing a cover of Stormbringer? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, we recorded it in the same sessions as the album, and it might be on a bonus edition somewhere or something like that if we get permission and whatever else.
That's definitely going to be interesting. Because I'm a big Mark III Deep Purple fan, and to cover Stormbringer is really, really going to be cool if it's on that record, like you just said. Yeah, I mean it's just a great tune. Because there's a lot of old Deep Purple stuff that we listen to, like Burn and things like that. But Stormbringer is probably the one we wish we'd wrote, man. It's just that riff every time. And it works really well. I mean, we put it in the set every now and then, and a lot of people over here who've never really heard of Deep Purple, like a lot of the younger people, really get it, which is cool. What about you, Tom? What are some of your influences?
Big Neil Peart fan. Just like, he's the best. He was just, started trying to learn a lot of his stuff, and then obviously found it when you first start, it's quite difficult to try and nail everything, so kind of go back to some more basic stuff. But I really enjoyed playing a lot of their Bond stuff as well, and especially got to use one of his Ludwig 1960s kits for the recording. So that was absolutely, I'd never be able to actually afford them myself, but it's such a nice kit to play. So yeah, those kind of guys really are my influences, to be honest.
Well, not Mike Portnoy character.
Oh, he's not bad either.
He's alright, isn't he?
Not bad.
Yeah.
All right, I have to ask you because I tried to buy your first 2 EPs off of your website, and you guys are going off of what, Big Cartel, whatever it's called. Any reason why you guys don't ship to the United States? 'Cause I'm frustrated, man. We can't get our...
Yeah, how are we going to get the new how are we going to get the new record? And when is the new record out? Is it out right now?
Well, you know, we'll send you the new record, man. Don't worry about that. America's just something that's like just starting to open up to us, mainly through things like Twitter and actually just getting a couple of the tracks off the album out there into radio stations, probably like yourself. So there are plans to sort of stuff out for America. We just need to sort out a proper distribution deal to go with it. Like I said, we've got loads going on at the minute, so hopefully we can get all that sorted out pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great stuff, and it's just frustrating because, you know, I've talked to my brother about this, and a lot of the music that we're drawn to, there seems to be a resurgence going on over there in England, the UK, more so than here in the States. Don't get me wrong, there's some great bands coming out of the States, but there's a lot of great music right now. It's almost like the second wave of British heavy metal coming out of there right now. So to not be able to get some of the stuff...
Yeah, it's probably it's all kind of all the big touring bands over here are American bands. So it's nice to hear that you guys are kind of getting a hold of what some of us are doing over here, and it's kind of going back the other way, because I mean, the main bands that tour over here, Avenged, Alter Bridge, Blackstone Cherry, all the big rock bands are generally American bands from what you can kind of tell. So it's nice that we're sort of sending something back over the pond as well.
So the new record is going to be available. Let's clarify this right now. When are we going to be able to get the new record? Or if we want to get one of the EPs, we can get that on iTunes right now, only in America, right, Matt?
The only EP we have available here is your first EP. That's
okay.
the only EP that's available here in the States. It's just your first EP.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's on iTunes, isn't it? From what I remember.
Correct. And so you guys will be working out a deal to get the music over here. We get that. That's great. Okay, guys, can you give us Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. No.
I was going to ask you guys, you got some pre-show rituals you guys go through each time you play live?
Usually, man, we're all running around in like a chaotic mess trying to get stuff set up in time, and there's no, apart from like quickly trying to write a set list or something like that, we haven't really got time for a ritual.
Okay, so it's like so it's like whatever happens, right? There is no pre-show ritual. You guys don't get together, have a couple of shots of Jägermeister before you hit the stage?
At our level, man, every gig's completely different, so we just kind of have to go with it. And if we turn up to a venue and there's a drum kit that's like not what we'd be expected to use, or something different, there's always something different to sort out, basically. So, it goes a bit chaotic.
It's been nice. Past few gigs have been like nice, and yeah, quite big venues with like with supporting
Snake Charmer. I don't know whether you guys have heard of them yet, but it's like all White Snake and Thunder members coming together. Got to play with them quite recently, which is cool. And yeah, we all get to do the odd bigger gig now, and
it does make a lot of difference as well.
Yeah, getting to warm up.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, on stage sound, things like that, and having good sound checks. You can get it all right for what you want the audience to hear.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So do you guys have the Hell to Pay groupies following you guys around from place to place?
You took my question, Matt. I was going to ask these guys who has the most groupies in the band.
Yeah, who does have the most groupies in the band?
Honestly, Stu, I don't know how that boy does it, man, but everywhere we go, he seems to know a different girl or ends up talking to a different girl. That man is a talented man.
He's a bass player. That's he just goes on stage, takes care of the rhythm.
He's the quiet type.
Yeah, takes care of the rhythm section. He's got the women on the side. You gotta love that.
Yeah, because he's just exactly. He's just relaxing with his rhythm whilst he's scoping out what's going on in front. I think that's how he gets a head start on the rest of us.
Looks like Tom needs to get into business, get those groupies to help you with the drum set and stuff every day.
The do with that, the drum kit's getting bigger.
It's getting bigger, honestly. Like, we've just decided never to carry it in anymore. The more drums you add, the less work we do to help you set it up.
All right, guys. If you could just pick like a favorite record of all time for us. Tom, why don't you start first?
Wow, record of all time. That is.
Or like your go-to record, one you always go back to and listen to over and over again. Everybody's got one of those records.
Like 1984 Van Halen.
All right, 1984 Van Halen. All right.
Yeah, you got to love the Smoking Angel on the cover.
Oh yeah.
All right, Dario.
For me, Peace of Mind or Power Slave, one of the two. I can't pick between them two. One of those Iron Maiden records is definitely for me.
All right. Well, now that you guys have picked a favorite album, now Dario, is there a particular song you would have wished you wrote?
Off one of those albums?
Off of one? No, not doesn't have to be one of those albums.
In
man.
general, I'm going
man.
to say he's going to say Stormbringer.
Oh, go on. You got one song?
The Film Strigignato by Rush. Yeah, that is just a masterpiece. And watching the documentary on that and how they made that song is just quite outstanding for the technology at the time.
Yeah, trying to record that song live, by the way he did, that's just insane. Absolutely insane. Favorite song? Oh, I don't know, favorite song. Man, if I could have wrote Technical Difficulties by Paul Gilbert / Racer X, I'd have been very happy with myself.
Wait a second. Did you just say Technical Difficulties from Racer X?
That's what he said, Matt.
Yeah.
So there's actually somebody else out there besides myself that knows that album, so, all right.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that album. I mean, me and Dan were both big Gilbert and Racer X fans.
You got a little Jeff Martin on vocals. Gotta love it.
Yeah. Man, it's got the highest pitched squeal ever. Continues to be easily a drummer, Jeff Martin. What? Yeah, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, great band.
All right, guys, this is the most important question of the interview. What has your Spinal Tap moment been so far in the band?
We haven't had a drummer explode. We've had plenty of bass players disappear. Like for one of the previous bass players in Hell to Pay, a guy called Chris Jones. It was Tom's first gig in the band, yeah, and he liked a drink, I think you could say.
He liked a double.
Yeah, you know, obviously you'd think like the rhythm section would try and stick together at the start of the show, and you know, he might help try and like get Tom through this gig, and we all like kind of turn around to the intro of the song. We're all looking at Tom ready to go. Hit that first chord, turn around, and there he is, like in the middle of the crowd, like bass, like way above his head.
Nowhere near the stage.
I mean, there's only about 20 people there in the first place. But yeah, just like total disregard for everything that was going on, man. Just like rocking.
He just wanted to be in the crowd, rocking out. And
yeah, pretty much. But Tom got through it. It was all good. You did well, mate. You did really well, considering.
So I take it he's no longer in the band, right?
Still like a very good friend of ours, but yeah,
he's a good friend, but he's better a friend than a member of the band, I think.
Well, they got the other bass player picking up all the groupies now, Matt.
Yeah, so that's what you want. You want the bass player picking up the groupies, and the ones he can't handle,
he's pretty generous with it, though. He's pretty generous, you know. He looks out for you, for these things. You know, because there's too many for him. This is the problem.
You know, what you guys need to do is get, like, their, like, really tight shorts that says Hell to Pay on the ass, kind of like the Victoria's Secrets, you know.
Hey, man, I'm working on that. I'm not being funny, but I am genuinely working on that. I went and sourced them, like, little hot pants the other day, man. I'm not even kidding. There will be, like, a female, like, range of Hell to Pay clothing, mainly hot pants. And bodysuits. I've got a bodysuit as well. They look good.
Yeah, then you guys can come out with some...
I'll take you guys a photo.
Yeah. You guys can come out with some Hell to Pay condoms, you know, glow in the dark.
A guitar on, yeah.
So where did the name Hell to Pay come from?
It's from the first song that me and Dan ever wrote together. We actually had to we put a demo together and it got sent off for some competition that we never got anywhere near with, but we had to pick a name for the band. And it just seemed to fit with the material that we had. I mean, like I said, it was the first song that we put together, and yeah, it just seemed to fit with the kind of intentions we had for the material more than anything.
Okay, guys, I want to thank you for coming on the Hard Rockology Show, Dario and Tom. And where can people find out about Hell to Pay?
We are all over the internet. You can find us at Facebook/Hell to Pay Band. Our website is www.helltopayband.co.uk. Our Twitter handle is @HellToPayUK. We've got a YouTube account as well, which is Hell, the number 2, then Pay Band, which has got all our videos on and stuff. Anywhere else, Tom? I think that's pretty much the internet, isn't it, really? Yeah. I think that's everything.
All right, so why don't you guys take us out from one of your latest songs off the upcoming album?
Okay, this is the title track from our new album, Judgment Day. This is Judgment Day on the Hard Rockology Show. Cheers, guys.